I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, and I'm located in Southgate, Kentucky.
And I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery in Monroe, Washington. And welcome to Wheel Talk. Hello, Ryan.
All right, we're live. Hello.
We're live.
Happy Sunday night.
Yes, Sunday night. Me and Ryan are going off of our normal schedule because the first of the year happened and all these things happened. So
Yep.
here we are. How was your day?
Yep. My day was pretty eventful, I feel like. Slept until about 11, which was good. And then I'm trying to remember what the hell I did. But I ended up going to a Harry Potter concert, which is what you want to hear about. Which was what did I do before that? I don't know what I did before that. Whatever. It wasn't important, I guess. But I went to Harry Potter in concert where they play the movie and then they have an orchestra from Cincinnati here that is composed by someone and they play all the score of the movie throughout it.
Oh.
So there's no like audio from the movie with the like music part. So it's pretty cool. That's the
That's not as cool as I thought it was going to be.
What do you think it was going to be?
I thought that
Do you think it was going to be just a score that's like Oh, okay. Well, yeah, they play the movie and then they have the score throughout the entire thing. You know, you can hear the dialogue and all that too. It's just they don't
play the music.
They play the music with the orchestra. And then people like cheer and all that stuff and
I don't know, yeah.
do whatever when the characters are
I think that if it was I'd probably enjoy just the score a lot more than watching it with the movie. But that's because I don't really like the movies. I'm going to get hate mail now. I don't hate them. It's just not my favorite. So.
Yeah. Well, we're thinking about going to a different one. There's one in Columbus or Dayton, I think, a little bit north of us that they have the Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I can get behind that. Yeah.
So we went, the very first movie film concert we went to was Back to the Future, which was pretty sweet.
I feel like, Indiana Jones, like, just because, like, even, in Disneyland, in the ride, it's like, da-da-da-da, like, it's so loud. I'm not going to do it on the microphone because it'll be too loud, but,
but yeah, that
would be pretty bomb. Yeah.
And so they basically have Harry Potter in concert that travels around the world, I guess. And this one always happens in Cincinnati at the end of the year. So that's the third one we just watched, Prisoner of Azkaban, and then they'll have the fourth one, and then so on and so forth each year. They have like 3 shows a year.
Cool. Huh.
So I didn't realize how much I didn't like this movie in relation to the first two.
Until today.
Because I haven't seen it in so long. I don't know. I feel like there wasn't a lot accomplished within 2 hours and 20 minutes, but I don't know. I feel like they could have squeezed it into like an hour and 40.
Yeah.
That's all right.
That's cool.
Yeah. So what was your day? How was your day? I know your Seahawks are playing right now or something, I think.
Oh, what?
Seattle Seahawks
they
are
won.
playing right now, I think. Oh, they won. Okay,
they
it's already
won.
over. Cool.
I don't watch football, but I do like to keep track, see how my customers are going to behave the next day. No, it was good, I guess. I've been waking up so late recently, like 10, 11 o'clock, but I've been going to sleep at like 2, 3.
Okay. Well, that's reasonable.
I feel like it's kind of reasonable,
9
but
hours.
also I've been house sitting still, and I'm almost done with that, but the bed is like so comfortable, so I think that's why I've been sleeping so long. But I made some mugs, and I didn't even make mugs. I made mugs last night, and then I handled a bunch today and started a kiln, and that's pretty much it. I was supposed to glaze. I might go back and glaze tonight, but I think I can do it tomorrow. I don't know.
Pretty chill.
Yeah. That's what I like about the beginning of the year, because I don't have to feel guilty about getting everything done. I'm like, hey, nothing's due. I'm making enough money to live. It'll be fine. And so, yeah, but I do have that big order due on the 8th, and I'm not excited about that because I have to drive over the pass with 100 mugs in the snow. So that's not exactly my idea of a fun time, but, that'll happen on Wednesday, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Are you gonna pack those a little more secure than your like Leavenworth mugs that you travel with in the bins that are loose?
I have to tell you that when I posted on Clay Buddies once about how I travel with my Leavenworth mugs, and I got so much shit for it. Oh my god, because I just throw them in a container. And the only people that actually got through to me, other than the people that were just like, that's dumb, you're going to get, like, the Clay's going to get shocked and they're going to dunt. And I'm like, no, they're not. Be real. The only people that really...
Or they're like, you're going to get nailed in the head with a mug.
The only people that really got to me were the moms that were like, the wives that were like, my husband's a firefighter, and the amount of damage that can happen to a person with like a mug flying through the air is so extreme. So I don't secure them any better within the containers, but I do like put a blanket on top and like bungee them down to the car, so that if I did get in a crash or something, and I try to keep the seat up too, so that if they like came forward, they wouldn't like hit me. But I plan on dying in a car crash if I get in a car crash on the pass anyway. So, I mean, I don't know if that'll. I'm like, I would rather die than be in that much pain, because if I'm gonna get in a car crash on the pass, it's gonna be like pretty intense, and I know that. So.
Well. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're transporting 100 of them here soon.
Wednesday.
Here in 3 days. Nice.
And we haven't glazed them yet, so that's how we roll.
Sweet.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure you made plenty, though.
I made so many, and then I fucked up, like, so many more. I was so pissed. I think I made 120, and I ended up having, like, to remake 15 of them.
That's why you make so many. You've done this before.
I lost 35 mugs. From, like, certain random things. Like, because I didn't score the bottom of the handles. And they were, like, really smooth mugs. And so they all popped off. And I was like, fuck. Sorry for my language, folks. I don't normally. But I always do anyway. But, yeah. So that's how that happened. Okay, what are we talking about today?
All right, so it's the first podcast that we're recording of the year, so we thought it would be fitting to talk about 2020 and planning and goals for the year, looking ahead, and kind of like where we ended 2019 was our last episode, and then we're kind of looking ahead and seeing what we want to share for how we're hoping the end of 2020 ends up. So
cool. Okay,
I don't know what kind of list you have on your side, but you know what kind of list
I know exactly what kind of list Ryan has, and it is not like mine at all, because I don't have a list. He didn't even have to show me, but I know what his list looked like from last year. And also, Andrew wants to know if he'll send you him. He was like, "Can Ryan just send me his list, and I'll just use his list for my goals?" That's my best friend who does not even do pottery. He's like, I'm just going to take Ryan's list. Okay. I did work though. I was like, okay, I know Ryan's going to have some stuff. So I did put in like financial goals, which is what I'm motivated by. So, yeah, so I'm excited about that. And, but I have like other goals in my head. So let's start with you, Ryan.
All right, so I'll jump to the bottom. Let's go with, I actually split out the Clay community one. So we'll go to improve relations with the local Clay community. I just split these out. There's only 3 here. Lead the first year as Clay Alliance president. So I announced in the last episode, I'm starting 2020 and 2021 as the Clay Alliance president, which is the basically the Clay collective group here in Cincinnati. And we've got like 160 members, I think. So I volunteered I guess I put myself in the running for the president, got unopposed. So I'm going to do that for the next 2 years. That should be interesting. I'm not sure exactly how much work's going to go into that, but yeah. What's up? She's trying to get connected.
I'm like waving at you. I just want to tell you I'm going to go get my iPad so I can do notes, but just keep talking.
Okay. All right, I'll keep talking. So the other pieces about the local clay community were I'm going to teach 4 paid sessions at Baker Hunt, which is basically the exact same thing that I did last year. I'm just pretty much keeping this the same. So we have sessions every season. The first one starts actually tomorrow, and it'll go through the end of February, and then we'll do the same thing for spring, summer, and then fall. So plan on teaching 4 sessions and then 4 one-off workshops, which could be like an Instagram session or a like a date night sort of thing, like beginner wheel, where they just come in and make stuff for a couple hours. And then the last one for the local clay community, I did not have this one on there last year, but I started kind of doing this with some people. So I put host or attend 5 events with other local makers. So this could be like social gatherings, like a dinner, just having folks over or whatever, or like a workshop where you kind of set something up and like plan to go talk about a specific topic. I've kind of wanted to do this a little bit since like the fall. We actually had some dinner with our friends from Codeco that are small business people, and then also Charity and Tommy that are friends as well that do photography and some clay work. So we kind of had a couple of those this past year, but I put a goal on here to host 5 of them or attend 5 of them so that we can kind of have some more social gatherings, because a lot of times I just kind of put that on the back burner and I don't really focus on doing that. But I think it's helpful to meet with other people in your area that are small business people that you can kind of bounce ideas off of and all that kind of stuff. Besides that, I separated out the other part because it's like a wider clay community. So this one's improve relations with the wider clay community, which is where I put attend NCECA for the 3rd time and demo with a company. That one's in Richmond, and I've already been talking with Speedball, and I think I'm going to be demoing with them and maybe doing a little side project with them that'll be shown at NCECA. So that should be cool. And then I've got attend ClayCon West for the first time in St. George, Utah, which Becca and I will be meeting up there with some friends and stuff like that. Becca's actually going to be doing a workshop there about throwing efficiently and stuff like that.
I mean, we'll see.
Well, you're on the schedule, so you gotta do something. So that should be good. I actually have, Instagram following. Increase Instagram following to 25,000. I started 2020 at 14.9 is where I'm at right now. So I'm hoping to get to 25 is my stretch goal here. I got to what I intended last year like a lot quicker than I expected. So I set myself at 10 last year and I hit 14.9. So we'll see if I can get to 25. I don't think that sounds unreasonable. I probably could put 30 on here, but I'll put 25.
Yeah, because you're going to go faster the more you get.
Right. So we'll see how that one is. I put host Potswap 2020 for the holidays. I might adjust that a little bit so it's not host. It's like, I don't know. I'll just put host. Participate in, whatever. We'll figure out how much work we end up doing, but have that on there. And then I have Wheel Talk ones that are specific to the podcast only because we didn't even have the podcast before the fall. So I put release 50 episodes. This is our 20th right now. So as long as we don't drop off the face of the earth and just stop releasing or something like that, we should easily hit 50.
I feel like we should easily hit 80.
Should I put 75? Should I put 80 on here?
70. Put 70.
I'll put 75.
Because there's 20 that we've already done. There's 52 weeks in the year. Yeah. We do one a week ish.
Yeah. 75. And then I put interview 7 other makers. So we did one interview with John the Potter, John Schmidt last year. I'm hoping we can increase and meet some other people because you might want to hear some people that aren't just Becca and I.
I think it would be so much fun in March to do a roundtable discussion with Rebecca and Joshua.
Yeah.
Gosh.
In March or February?
Well, it's the end of February, early March.
Okay. But yeah, we can do something like that for sure.
That'd be so much
fun. Then we could probably get together and interview someone or talk with people at ClayCon West if we want.
Yeah.
There's some people local to me that I'd like to chat with. So, and then the last one for our Wheel Talk is reach 1,000 listeners.
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't even think you. Let's see. What are we
at like
right
380.
It says listeners is 250.
Oh, listeners. Yeah. Okay. Not listeners. Followers.
I don't know how that's calculated. That's probably some proprietary calculation, but I'm going by what's in Buzzsprout. Yeah. So I'll go with 1,000 based on we're at 250 right now.
How many Instagram followers do you want to have, or does that matter to you?
25,000.
Did you say that?
Oh, on Wheel Talk?
Are you talking about
on Wheel Talk or just my personal one? Oh, on Wheel Talk? I don't know. What do you want? This should be a shared one.
I just realized. I've been
putting less effort into
I just realized that I was not following Wheel Talk Podcast on Instagram.
Oh my gosh. All right, we're one closer to whatever our Wheel Talk goal is. Because Becca is now following. I see it on here. Five Lines Pottery Studio started following you. Oh, really?
Oh my gosh. 363. We're at 363.
We're at like 360. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't want to put a guess on that. Do you want to put like 1,000?
Yeah, I think we should do 1,000, or maybe even like 800. The first couple is so hard.
It's really hard
to get to them.
Yeah.
And Instagram's not really what we're looking for as far as podcasts, but it's mostly just to help spread the word. I mean, our Instagram's pretty shallow compared to.
Yeah, it's basically just snippets.
I mean, we both have full-time jobs, so.
Yeah. It's very backburner. Yeah. It's like the third backburner.
So I don't know if there really is a necessary goal for Instagram.
But we'll have a goal in here. If we hit it, cool. If we don't, no big deal.
Yeah.
So those are my clay relations ones. Why don't you go ahead, and then we'll talk about sales ones after.
Okay. I don't have any clay relations.
I don't want to talk for like half of the episode. At least not all at once.
Okay. Here's parts. I don't really know about. I guess I'm just shooting off the hip right now. So as far as clay relationships go,
No, you didn't have to talk about clay relationships. Do you have anything that's business related that's just your own goals?
I'd prefer not to kill myself this year. Like like be burned out by the end of it like I was this last year. And then I'd like to not go through a depressive, state in the middle of the year like I also did this last year. So I'm working on balance as far as, being away from the studio a little bit more and, really having, boundaries and I'd like to get back to a point where I actually enjoy throwing and that I can throw fast. 'Cause right now I'm to the point where I'm just I'm tired all the time. I think I have some sort of immune thing, autoimmune something. But so
could that be if you were to put that on paper? Could that be have us set up a separate area?
Yeah.
In my
That's
studio
exactly actually what's going to happen is that so Andrew's moving out, my best friend. He uses the middle of my studio as a shipping area, and so he's moving out this year, and then I'm gonna have to figure out how to. I don't need a lot of space. I need
or something.
I could work in. I know it seems so stupid as somebody who throws so many pots, but my wheel is literally in a 4x4 foot space, and that's pretty much all I need. So
you just need access to shelving.
Yeah,
that's about it.
And so that's kind of the goal. Is I want to kind of have a separate space so that when I have somebody working in the front, I can go in the back and put in headphones, and I don't have to answer to anybody or be in eyesight of anybody. So that's kind of a huge goal for me this year is to I find it hilarious how over the years I was I want to do pottery, so I'm gonna sit alone in my basement. And then I'm like, oh, I'm like lonely in my basement, but I also don't have enough space, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do this like community studio and be in everybody's like life. And then, oh, I really don't like everybody, so I'm gonna go be lonely again.
Well, yeah, it's kind of a balance, right? You're like hoping for something, but you got to set your own boundaries because you're like, I can't handle this much,
Yeah.
Interaction all the
If
time.
there was anything that proved to me how much of an introvert I am, it was this year. So, but yeah,
So, for people that don't know your studio, you said it's like 3,000 square foot. What's the current like breakdown? Is it like 1,000 of it's the front gallery and paint a pot, and then like 1,000's the studio community area, and then 1,000's the back room and the kiln area?
Okay.
Is that kind of how?
No, so it's like, so the back room is probably 20 by 20. So the back room's probably like 400 square feet. And then the middle room is probably another 400 square feet. And then the front room, it's this large room that's like 1,800. Not even 1,200. I mean, 1,200 square feet. So it's like, no, 20. It's like 100 feet long by 25 feet wide. So it's like 2,200 square feet. So.
And that includes your community area with the wheels, and then also the paint-a-pot.
Yeah, and the paint-a-pot there's like a wall, and at like from 16 feet back there's a wall, and that is, separates the back studio from the front paint-a-pot. And then people from paint-a-pot come in the back too, because we've had to like kind of push people into the back tables, which is fine. That's how we wanted it. So the back's kind of like, the back can cater to the paint-a-pot, but it also can cater to the people taking classes or just doing clay. And so that'll get all rearranged as well this year, just to kind of make sure everything's flowing well. But
and you're currently like in the middle when you work.
I'm in the middle of the
right
front
in the
room.
Middle of the front.
Yeah. And so I'd like to be in the middle room, which doesn't have any heat, but I have an idea for it, so I think it'll work.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of like a goal for me, not financially, but more kind of.
But that's great. That's something you could put on paper and like easily. You could get a quick win, and it could help you like mentally so much, and then your work stream and your workflow.
I miss when I used to like throw for 5 hours and just not be tired and like be ready to go. I miss that. Like I used to make so much more mugs than I do now. And so I'm excited to hopefully get some of my brain back this year. Yeah. So that's one of my goals.
So what was your other, are you going to take a day out of the studio or something like that to help with the balance and not getting overloaded, or do you think just the moving spaces is going to accomplish that?
I think moving spaces is going to accomplish that, but I also think that like so I've already started to kind of implement me not like being in the studio all the time, in the sense of now I'm only open Thursday through Sunday, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I have whatever I want. I can do whatever I want with it. And so usually on Monday or Wednesday I kind of take like half a day and just like veg out or do nothing. So that's kind of the goal, is either probably not Mondays because I go down and get clay on Mondays, but hopefully on Wednesdays I can take part of a day and kind of just like do nothing. Or maybe I'll take up a hobby.
Kind of recharge.
Yeah.
Have you been painting any lately? I know you were painting a lot at the beginning of 2019 or mid 2019 or something.
I know
like that.
I was. No, I haven't been painting, but I got I recently got an iPad and I'm gonna start drawing on it. So
nice.
So I'm excited about that. Yeah. So that was So there's that. Yeah.
Cool. What else?
That's it. Is that it?
That's it. That's not numbers related. Is that what you mean?
Kinda. Yeah. I don't know. I'd like to kind of really get my classes figured out and like.
Well, are you getting someone? Did you mention you were getting someone to I don't know if you mentioned someone was going to teach a class, or you were going to hire someone that's going to take over a portion of.
Yeah, but we'll see how that goes. I have 3 new students, and I also just had 3 members that kind of are taking a break. So I don't know. I don't know what the future of the classes in the studio looks like. It's really, I don't know. I have a feeling this year is going to be a large change. There's going to be a lot of change that might be uncomfortable. It might be an uncomfortable change, but because I think a lot of the reason that I went through everything this year was because I overdid myself with teaching, which is not one of my strong points.
It can definitely drain you a little bit or a lot.
So I really need to kind of like knuckle down on what kind of classes we're doing and what kind of people are in the studio. And I mean, obviously, I think the dream for almost anybody is to have a studio that like 15 people that actually know what they're doing come in and they like share the space.
Kind of
But that's not really what we have, which is fine.
And take care
and I
of
love the members that we have, and I wouldn't like I wouldn't. I want them to stay because I love them and I like the way that they work in the studio and they're wonderful. And maybe the difference of me getting my own studio will be what changes everything. So, I mean, that might be something that just changes my outlook on the way the classes are and everything like that. So, yeah. So once I get the new, like, my own space set up, and then then that gives me a little bit more room to have more of, like, a teaching area instead of me being in front of everybody while teaching, so maybe that will kind of change things. I'm going to move my Shimpo Aspire to the teaching area, and then use that standing up teaching, and then I'll, bring some wheels down, and I'd like to get some actually decent wheels this year. That'd be nice. But we'll see how that goes. Also, I want to hand build more. That's another goal.
For your personal work or just in general? Like to sell?
To sell, work? I want to hand build more. I want to start. I think I've started to realize that if I hand build, then people can help me, and so that's really motivating to hand build and teach, teach my little minions, my awesome little minions.
Maybe when you meet with Rebecca or Josh, I think Josh hand builds a lot.
Josh has to hand build a lot because Rebecca's making him in the best way possible because he's doing his
those like brew cups or whatever.
Books and Brew,
he hand builds so many of those.
Yeah, he does a mug club for Books and Brew, and it's so smart because if you hand build the mugs, then the quantity, like the size, is always going to be the same. There's nothing.
Exactly.
When I throw it, it's going to vary a bit, like a lot of it. But when you hand build something and it's a cylinder, like that's going to be 20 ounces every single time.
And it's right.
That's so nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
For your studio thing, are there places that like offer someone local to teach at your studio and they get a portion of what, like, you handle the like?
Oh, I would do that if somebody came to me and
space?
Wanted to. Yeah.
And like you get 30% of it or something, or 50% of it or something like 30. That.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way. And then I don't know if they handle like, okay, you have your own carts for your students and you handle the loading and unloading or something like that. I don't know. Or they just have to be there to help with that portion throughout the week or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's enough people in your area that would have that skill set to teach and would want to do that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Last year I was kind of like trying to get people to do that, and this year we kind of like branched out into that, and I think that'd be great. I'd love for the studio to kind of move in more of a community aspect and like have other people come in. Like I have no problem delegating like certain things to people or giving certain things to people, I have no problem with that. A lot of people might have issues, but yeah, I'm looking for that. That'll be good.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, can we get to numbers now?
Yes.
I'm so excited.
All right.
Let's hear them, right?
Should I go or do you want to go? You want me to go? All right. All right. So this general category is the same as last year. Increase sales overall through various platforms and produce more regular customers. So my first one from last year was talking about my mailing list. This year I want to add 250 names to my mailing list. I have 382 currently. Last year I added 218, so I just upped that a little bit. And that's going to continue to be like the giveaways at shows. I should be doing some more like 2-day shows and like bigger art shows. So I think I'm going to get more traffic to get those names in there for the giveaways. So that's my first one. Sell at 15 shows minimum with 8 of those juried. And then 2 of them being new at a minimum.
Nice.
Which I think should be fine because I'm going to probably apply for like 4 or 5 that are new for sure. Next one is talking about show sales specifically. Increase show sales to 25,000. Last year I was at almost 17,800 is about where I ended up. So I'm shooting to get to 25,000. I'll be doing less shows. I did 24 in 2019. I'll be doing less, but I think I'll be getting better at them and, picking certain ones that are better and then doing more 2 days, like I mentioned. So yeah, those should yield better sales, I believe. And unless, this year 2019, I didn't really get any horrible days that were like terrible rain and just really, really crap. So I might have been fortunate in that aspect, but, I think I kind of plan for stuff like that where I don't overestimate everything, but I'm pretty reasonable with what I think I'm going to sell. The next one is related to increased gallery sales, which is consignment or wholesale, and increase that to $5,000 worth. 2019, I sold $3,000 worth, and I'm shooting for $5,000 in 2020.
Nice.
So I didn't have an item to add 2 more shops. Last year I had add 2 shops that I want to sell in or something like that. I don't have that this year. I don't think I want to reach out to any shops to like get added to, but if they approach me, I may, if it's the right place. So, I'm kind of keeping up with the current stock now, and I'm trying to get better, have better turnaround at the ones I'm at. So, and improve like what I'm sending them so that it has a better chance of selling. So, the next one's talking about online selling. Sell $5,000 minimum online. 2019, I sold 2,900, and yeah, I'm shooting for 5,000. Last year, I targeted about 2,000, and I exceeded that by almost 1,000. So, I think 5,000 should be good. We'll see. I think my Instagram sales, like people reaching out just through Instagram and asking for this thing, if it's for sale or just, if I have stuff in my shop, it's more likely to sell, obviously. I'll try to get better about choosing the right things to put online. At the beginning of 2019, I felt like I was just kind of shooting whatever and just like putting time into putting random things on there. But later in the year, I got better about like, okay, I'm not going to do updates very much, but when I do, I want to choose certain items that I think have the best chance of selling.
Right.
And I kind of figure out, because it's hard. Like you put stuff up there and you think certain things are going to sell. They might not sell. They might sit. Like you think there's excitement about getting stuff on there because people ask you, but that only goes so far. People aren't actually going to click the sell button or the buy button. Like, there's not a ton you can do. You can just do your best, right. But like there's no guarantee. So I think picking the right items for the right time of year and stuff like that, and choosing the right days to like post it on there for when it goes for sale. It's so hard. Like I don't know. But like some people that just sell online, I think they just get more chances at it because that's what they focus on. Like they don't sell at it's in stores or at shows and stuff. So like they get really good at the practice and figuring out, building the hype and refining that skill. Like I just don't have that yet. So but yeah, 5,000 online. We'll see how that one shakes out. I think I can hit it out. I think I'll probably be closer to 6,000, but we'll see. I'm just really shooting in the dark. I really have no idea, but that's what I'm shooting for. And my last numbers one is make an income of 50,000. 2019, I ended with 30,000 in income.
No. Revenue.
Which we talked about on our last episode. Revenue. Sorry. I just say income because that's what I'm selling. Revenue. Okay. Yeah, income is not the right word. I'll put revenue. Which for people out there, that's whatever I'm getting before I take away like expenses and
his total sales
and shipping and yes, total sales. I still have to sell a single piece for $100, which is just the general one that I have.
We're gonna do that this year, Ryan.
That's totally gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Somebody buy a piece from Ryan for $100.
If you buy it, I will up that number for the end of the year to like 150 or something. I think it's gonna be either a carved piece that's like a plate or a vase that's carved, or it's gonna be a teapot.
Yeah.
Maybe a big bowl.
I think you should shoot for the big bowls. Those are the ones that I've always sold for more than $100.
Okay. And that's doable.
People are like, oh, a 14-inch salad bowl? Come at me. And like, they like those.
I mean, I would not spend $100 for a bowl, but people out there
would
spend $100 for a bowl.
But I would sell one.
Yeah, for sure. And the last one that's general that's related to sales is host a home or open studio show.
Oh, cool.
So I've been wanting to do this the last like 2 or 3 years. I still, as much like confidence as I have in like my selling ability and all that stuff, I still have like, I don't know the right word. What's the right word? Reluctancy or insecurity about like whether people are going to show up to something like that because it's all on me. But I think I'm willing to do it, and I'm going to commit to it for the year. And then I'm going to invite a couple other artists that are either clay or not clay to do it as well. Because we have a nice home, brand
new bathroom.
Have a good space. It's and the studio should be updated by then. I should have a wall built in the studio that helps organize it a lot better. And
hey, when you put that wall in,
look pretty good. So
when you put that wall in, make sure you put a bunch of support beams so that hopefully you can put shelves on it.
Yeah, it's gonna be framed in and all that. Is that what you're talking about?
It just needs to be load bearing.
Yeah, it'll be framed in and yeah. So it'll look all nice, and I'll host a sale and have some people over, and we'll see who shows up, and it'll just be the start of, I'll probably have one the next 10 years. I don't know. We'll see. But I got to have my first one before I can have, get over those doubts and stuff.
Yeah.
People have those kind of doubts for, like, even going and selling at a show in general. Like, they don't think their stuff's good enough, or...
Hell, I don't think my stuff's good enough.
Setup.
I've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah. So that's my list. That's my whole list.
Like, I am terrified to bring my stuff to ClayCon West because I'm like, oh shit, there's gonna be so many people there that are like good, like really good, like really, really, really good, and I'm gonna be bringing my like average A mug, like that might have a crack in the handle, but nobody knows because they can't see it because I covered it up with glaze.
I have little cracks around my seam at the top too sometimes, but the glaze just fills in right there.
Yeah. That was also one of my favorite things this year on Clay Buddies, when somebody was like, "What do I do about this?" And like you could tell who was like a production potter or did any type of production work and who was like a hobby potter, because every production was like, "Find a dark glaze, you'll be fine." And every other hobby potter was like, "Throw it in the trash. It's trash. Don't do anything." And we're all like, "Nah, it's fine."
Don't put any subpar work in the world.
I mean, production potters don't put any subpar work in the world, but glass is stronger than clay. So, okay, so my earphones. My goals. Okay, so I've thought of a few things, and hopefully I can remember them while I'm talking. Okay, so financially, email list. I want to talk about that, because not that I have a goal for it, but I'm at 265 subscribers. I've never sent out an email in this whole year, and I've gained like 5 subscribers a week. So that's fun.
Whoa, yeah. Really? That's pretty sweet, actually. And that's just a pop-up on your website or something?
Yeah. That people are signing up? I need to put it back up on my website, because I actually just changed all my website people.
Right.
I switched over. Oh, I don't know if I told you. I switched over completely to Weebly.
Okay, sweet. I have Weebly for my website. So.
Yeah, I was going to go through Shopify, but then I was like, I don't know. I wanted to put in everything for classes and everything, and then Shopify is just the interface on working it and trying to make it, like Weebly's like,
it just wasn't intuitive.
Weebly's like, here, type this in here and it's going to show up right here. Shopify's like, here, type this in. I'm not going to tell you where it's going to go, but don't worry, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, it sounds like Shopify is like more abstracted and more like back-end heavy.
Yeah, it's definitely back-end heavy.
And then Weebly is what you would call like a WYSIWYG. Yeah. What you see is what you get. Yeah. So you're putting it directly in, which is why I like Weebly. I'm a web developer by trade, and I want something simple and easy. So my whole site is built on Weebly, and it's very easy to update. I update it like once every couple weeks, maybe. And when shows are happening about that often.
It goes through Square, so you can start selling on your website and go straight through Square and have all your analytics there.
Yeah. Ooh, I have a Square thing that I want to talk to you about after, but we can.
Okay, so my goal is to. Speaking of Weebly, I'd like to actually sell some things online this year. I don't know what they're going to be, and I don't know how it's going to go online. I'm thinking that I'm going to have to do, like, updates, and then have them for, like, an hour or, like, a day, and then take them off. So that's my thought.
Why is that? So you're going to take pictures of stuff and then put them up there for a day if they don't sell, and then take them down?
Because I'll sell them everywhere else.
Oh. Can't you just leave them on a shelf, or are you going to be so good with your stock that you can just leave those finished pieces on a shelf that are for online only?
You know what?
You're going to be awesome with your workflow, so you're just going to have so much work that's ready to go.
Yeah. Also, in the shop, I'm switching over to a barcode system so we can keep track of inventory, and I think that'll help with selling stuff online.
Yeah.
So anyway, I want to sell online. I don't know how that's going to be. It'll probably be via flash sales. So.
Okay. You should set a number. You should be like
I have.
50, like make 200 sales or something.
Well, I set a flash sale number. I want to make $12,000 this year in flash sales.
Sweet. Did you have that split out last year? Do you know how much you made last year?
I don't know how much I made last year. I want to say that I made like $1,000 every flash sale. So I just want to try and do one a month,
Oh, sweet. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. When you said 1,000, I was like, okay.
$1,000 a month in flash sales. Okay. And then, and then I want to like kind of work through my website a little bit more. This is my goal every year and it never happens. So we'll see if it actually happens this year.
Just make it small and like
doable.
It sounds easier, but
yeah. And I want to get the Simply Cyto stuff up on the website too. And a couple of years ago, I tried to paint something a day. Like paint, a mug a day. And I'd like to kind of get back to that and try to get more of the high-end stuff out there. And that I would like to put on the website, the more high-end pieces, that go for like $60, $70, $40. And then, so yeah, that's kind of like a goal. I want to do more of that.
Is that a big goal to say one a day, or should it be like 3 a week?
That's a good idea.
Like
3 a week. We'll go with 3 a week. Yeah.
That way it doesn't seem so grueling because you haven't even made one a week.
Yeah,
right?
And I'm going to talk to Andrew Linderman at Claycon West about what I can do to make like a matte satin glaze, because I want to do that for those weird line work mugs that I've been doing. So, and kind of like hone down on that. And then I want to get back into making jewelry, because I really like doing the jewelry stuff, and they sold really well last year, and I think that would be a really easy thing to sell online, because they're super consistent. Like,
yeah, and easy to ship too.
So easy to ship, and they're really and they're a desirable item. So I want to get to that. But I haven't really figured out a cost goal for like Simply Saito stuff that I want to do.
Have you sold that at Leavenworth? Simply Saito jewelry?
Yeah. I sold a lot too. I like had to restock a few times. So, I mean, yeah.
Great.
I mean, it was way more than I thought I would. So.
I feel like I remember you getting to that kick of making a bunch, and then I never heard anything after that, whether you kept making them.
Yeah,
or
I have a bunch.
You were just doing it behind the scenes a lot.
I have a bunch of like, I did like go high and then totally crash out on it, but I still like it, and I like the idea of it, so, yeah. So I'll do that. And then, for flash sales, I want to do $1,200. And then what I did this year was to see kind of like financially what I wanted to do. I switched it up, or I split it up between wholesale and square sales. Square sales encompass paint your own pot, classes, and memberships. Okay? So I was going to split it up, but I was also watching a movie at the time, and I didn't want to think that hard. And then wholesale encompasses Leavenworth and regular wholesale accounts. So I want to make $68,500 in Square. Last year I did $55,000. No, $59,000, almost $60,000. So that's not a stretch. And like even this month, and we're on day 5, I've already done $1,400. No, $1,600. So yeah, so like on
that much less to go.
So I think that the Square really might fluctuate up. So I'm excited about that. Like, it's a very conservative goal this year. So, and then wholesale, like, I want to do $34,000 in wholesale, and that includes Leavenworth, which is usually about $20,000. So, we'll see how that goes. So, the proposed overall.
Wait, that includes Leavenworth. Why would Leavenworth include wholesale? Do you have wholesale clients that pick up at Leavenworth?
No, it's just that they pay the taxes on it, and we put it in as wholesale. Because, it's central cashier, so I don't take any of the money through Square or anything like that, so it's a separate source of income.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
And so my months kind of like, I don't do a ton in wholesale, and then in May, June, July, and August, it's like 5,000, 4,000, like it's a high income month for wholesale, so that's kind of what that encompasses, but yeah, so at the end of 2020, my proposed revenue, total sales, net income, that would be the net income, is $114,500.
Why'd you say net income? Is that the right term for just what you've made?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was gross. I don't know.
Well, maybe it's gross.
All these numbers, I don't.
Net sales.
I think
okay,
net
so net
is
sales
after
is before
stuff
taxes.
is taken. Okay.
And then total sales. We'll just say total sales. We're gonna say total sales.
Total sales. People give me money, I take it, and that's what the number
People
is.
are gonna get so pissed at us. So like, we're never gonna listen to Wheel Talk again.
The accountant people are gonna be like, these dummies.
So $114,500. That's my total sales. Last year I did 83,305, and the year before I did 74,520. So I think that bumping it up 35,000, especially with the Paint-A-Pot the way that it is right now, will be good. Also, I really want to bring my expenses down. This year my expenses were astronomical.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're not gonna spend $8,000 in like electrical stuff this year. Like that's not gonna happen again unless you have some huge power failure and you have to like move or something like.
But I just want to buy less frivolous things too. I want to really think about what I'm buying, and I might actually cancel my Amazon Prime account.
Oh, are you?
It's just so accessible.
But when you said like buy more wheels, I was like, do you need them? Do you need more wheels though, or are you just trying to get better quality ones, or do you have ones that are really suffering and needing repairs?
Yeah.
That are
I've got a few wheels that I think are gonna bite the dust pretty soon, so I won't really buy them until I need them. I think 6 wheels is appropriate.
But are you gonna buy? You're gonna buy them new because you're in a bind.
Yeah,
or you're buying them new because you definitely want to buy them new. Anyways.
I want to buy them new this time. You know, I've got like 3 RK2s, which are like 30 years old each, and then my Brent C, which is like also 30 years old probably, and the foot pedals shit out, and so I'm trying to fix it right now, but it's like electrical stuff and I don't want to do it. But so if any wheels shit out, I'm going to be buying new wheels this year to replace them.
Nice. I don't think I got any big expenses that I foresee. I mean, I'm going to do the basement stuff, but I think that's not coming out of this. That's not going to be a business expense.
I think my biggest expenses are going to be Paint-A-Pot stuff. I just spent $2,000 on an order for Paint-A-Pot. So, yeah.
Wow. But that'll last you for like what 4 months or 5 months or something.
It'll last a while. They even called me this last week, and they're like, "Hi, you haven't ordered from us in a while. Can we give you 20% off?" And I was like, "Well, I was gonna get 20% off anyway, but sure." So it was like a $2,500 order that was like $2,000. So,
wow,
I'm okay with it. Okay. Do you want me to?
So with your Square stuff that you mentioned earlier, I think it's good that you kind of batched it into one number because you were talking about making changes. I mean, it gives you flexibility. Right. So if you don't want to say I need to make X amount from teaching, if your teaching stuff dramatically changes, then you're not locked into that.
Totally. Yeah, and if if we get to a point where Paint-A-Pot is making the majority of the money, and it also, and it also like I don't need any help from anything else, that gives me complete flexibility to like
double down on Paint-A-Pot.
Right. Double down on Paint-A-Pot.
Remove
not
certain
classes, but like maybe reformulate classes so that maybe it's like just a one-time class, or maybe, where it's like, hey, if you have experience, you can come into the studio, but otherwise we're doing like 2-week classes that are teaching you just basics, or like hand building classes. I'd love to do some hand building classes, or just like maybe workshop style classes instead of full,
Yeah, where it's focused on certain forms at this class, and then
like
your members have access to all the workshops available.
Right.
Or you can have people pay per workshop or something.
Like, I think that for me that would maybe be a little bit funner, because then we could be like, hey, today we're going to make a mug. And then, if you needed to learn how to make a mug, you could come into that class. And then, or today we're going to make a slab built paint palette, like stupid little projects that are super satisfying. you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it would be fun to have like more advanced throwing classes, like, you know, we're going to make a teapot today. Like, do you know how to throw on the wheel, you know? So.
Right.
And
I mean, that mug thing, you can have like make a mug and you can show how you pull a handle off the mug. You can do a slab built handle. You can hand build a mug. You can add texture or add sgraffito or whatever.
This is getting me excited about
you can do so many things.
The future of the classes.
Yeah. It's a lot. I would imagine, especially when you're on the planning side of it too, with how they're structured and how they're scheduled and how many people you got to get into the class to make it worth it. And
and people
what do you price it at? And
they're such instant gratification type of people. And also where we live, it's not like people don't have that much money. You know, I think that's everywhere, right? Like they don't have like $1 billion to spend. So having like a $50 workshop instead of a $160 class is satisfying to them, you know. I feel like people may be much more, if somebody said, hey, no experience needed, we're going to hand build some mugs today, you know, then for $50, like, oh, hell yeah. Like, you get 2 mugs for $50? Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it, you know?
Sweet.
Yeah. So that's my thoughts.
Cool.
Did you have anything else?
I did not have anything else. I feel like there was something else that I wanted to say, but yeah, I don't think I have anything major that I wanted to accomplish besides what's on my list. I feel like there's some like bigger things that I should like say, whether it's getting a new something or, you know, working on some certain forms or something like that, but I think the number, obviously you all know the numbers drive me. So, you know, I think that's in the forefront of my mind and the thing that I'm most focused on for sure.
Yeah.
So we were chatting on
Did it come up on an orange screen for you? Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know it was going to do that. I thought it was just going to go in the little chat bubble. But his answer, like, popped up in this, like, orange screen. I was like, yes.
So what are we talking about here?
Okay. So, it hasn't happened yet, but...
You know what? This should have been on my goal list. This has been on my stretch goal list for since probably 2 years ago.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's already done. You've already made the goal. So, in a week, me and Ryan are actually going to go on the Potter's Cast podcast and talk to Paul.
With Paul Blaze.
So, that is, so I don't know when he'll air it. And I mean, you know, we could still have an apocalypse and it might not happen. But it's potentially, hopefully, we're going to be on the podcast. So that'll be exciting. And I mean, I'm sure that most people that listen to our podcast listen to his podcast. But you should all go listen to his podcast. Also, Boldly Podcast. And then I don't know when Ryan's going to have his come up again. But Clay is a 4-letter word was a fun one.
Clay is a 4-letter word, yeah. Yeah, I've been on both of those too. And I've silently had a goal to be a guest on the podcast.
Ryan's gonna fanboy
the last like 2 years.
He's totally.
But I haven't. But it's one of those things where I was like, I'm not gonna approach him and like tell him I want to be on the podcast. I want him to come to me so that I like.
Do people do that?
Deserve
do people
it more.
Say, hey, I want to be on the podcast?
Maybe. I don't know.
I would never do that.
Maybe they see him in person at like Ensika and are like, "Hey, I'd love to chat more. I'd love to get on your talk on."
You know what? That's a lie. I say that I would never do that, but I totally did that to Ryan for Clay's a 4-letter word. I was like, I want to be on your podcast because I want you to succeed. Well, not because I wouldn't help him succeed, but I'm just another person. And we actually had a fun time, a real fun time. But
yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited about it. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it should be good.
We were talking about books that we read, and Ryan doesn't read, so he's supposed to.
No shame here.
He's supposed to have a book.
I've read probably one book in all of 2019.
It's okay. My book, I'm
not gonna have a good
recommendation. The book that I'm gonna recommend is old, so really old, so. And I haven't listened to it since college. I don't think. Maybe sooner. I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah. So. Here we are.
All right.
Are we done?
So we're done. We'll wrap this one up.
Cool.
Thanks so much for listening. Hopefully y'all have a good planning ahead with some goals for the year. Even if you haven't planned goals, just write some stuff down to document it somewhere.
And tag us.
Don't feel like you're a failure if you don't accomplish them. It just helps you think about what you want for your year. And I'm sure this is related to people saying you should make a business plan with a small business. I've never written a business plan, but I'm very writing stuff down kind of person, and writing number focused things that I can easily say, did I accomplish this? Did I not? Don't just say, something vague. So yeah, I would say write some stuff down for the year, even if you're just kind of just starting out. Maybe it could be sell it 2 shows or something like that.
And tag us in it, because we need to get our Instagram followers up. So I'm kidding. Just tag us so we can share what you guys are. Tag us at Wheel Talk Podcast.
Talk Podcast. She doesn't even know what it is because she just started following it.
Every time I type in our email, I want so badly that we should have called it Wheel Talk Podcast. I so badly want it to be podcast instead of podcast.
Ridiculous.
Oh, okay. That's it. Bye.
All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you want to follow me or Ryan, you can follow us on our Instagrams. My Instagram is 5 Lines Pottery Studio. It's the number 5. And his Instagram is at RD Ceramics. That's R as in Ryan, D as in Durban, Ceramics. And we would love for you to follow us. But we would also love it if you gave us a review on whichever platform that you're listening on. And if you tell your friends. We really enjoy doing this, and we hope that we can do it some more and have some great conversations. Thanks!